like kind of loud a little bit. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out a way to fit them. There we go. All on screen. Honestly did not think it was gonna be this. I probably need to make this a lot bigger. Or maybe not, I don't know. Hold on, I'll be right back. Just gotta make sure that this music is so loud. I don't expect it to be that loud. But I'm gonna get started anyway. Oh, thank you, Euphoric. Oh my gosh, hi. I hope everything is good. I know you left your stream a bit early, but I'm sending you positive energy as well. Okay. Where's my pen? Okay. So I've been working on this. I don't even know how long I've been working on this. Maybe like a month now? Maybe less. I don't know. It's been a long time coming right now, and oh my god, it's taken so much. I just do so much in my daily life that I have to really remember to come back to this every now and then, which is hard. I'm trying to remember, who am I gonna do first? I think I'm gonna go ahead and do Jess first. So let's do, I always have face, then, wrong thing, body, clothes, and I'm probably gonna do makeup as another layer just because her makeup is kind of like a highlight for this design. So let me adjust some stuff really quick and then I'll go ahead and get started on this line art stuff. I actually just remembered that I have to download this pen that I really like because I had to switch over to a different computer for this. I'm trying to remember which one it was. It's either this one or it remember which one it is right off the top. Ah, there it is. It's the cat pen. I really love this pen. And this pen is also kind of a cheat, but it works for me, so no problems here. Okay, those are done. Okay. Okay. So child, I completely forgot to plug in my tablet. I'm like, why is that pin not working? Then I realized. Okay, there's just right there. I'm gonna turn down her opacity, face, all that good stuff. So sometimes I get lazy and I don't feel like I just don't feel like doing all the work that comes with drawing like other sides of stuff, so I just don't waste time with that. But because I know digitally I'm just going to copy and paste it. It's like you can cheat on some things. I feel like some people feel like you gotta do it all, and I'm like, it is not necessary. Do what makes you, what works for you, because it's like, so my thing is not stabilized at all. My settings are like all kind of wrong right now because I just plugged in this I'll have to go ahead and like BRB and set this up a little bit better because this is just not it's not set up right now.
Something obvious, I keep running from my demons, running till I'm nauseous, till I find no one in here, and everywhere I turn I see you, and I feel it through my veins. She takes away the pain, but feels a kick, boy, I want Majin Buu, wanna make it go cool, go cool.
You know, for a little kid, you're really strong. You need to be like steel.
Okay, I got that fixed pretty quick. But yeah, okay, cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start. Sometimes I have to look back and see how I'm doing the other faces. Okay, because when I tell y'all, sometimes these line arts are like days apart, sometimes even weeks apart. So I'm just like, this isn't even the right setting. There we go. So yeah, sometimes it's like I literally could have a whole nother style, and I really gotta do better with that because first of all, I need a consistent style. That's hard as is, but I also need to be more consistent with just in general how I do it. Like, instead of sketching them all out like in bursts, I need to start doing them closer to like the same time. But that's kind of hard because being creative is, if you aren't a creative, you may understand just kind of based on what you do in your day-to-day life, but having to come up with material, because it's not just me like making fan art and trying to make these YouTubers look as close as possible to themselves, is also having to come up with, because it's a theme, I'm doing Jujutsu Kaisen, so like there's a whole thing of having to um, make sure that their like curse technique also fits into their character, like their personalities as people. And I also did like ask them, and some of them did reply saying, this is what they would want for their little curse technique. And so that is like another challenge because, some of them have things that some of them are stuff that was already in the manga or anime, and then some of them have new stuff. So I have to like come up with very not only interesting designs, but like what's the word I'm looking for? Ones that just kind of match them as people. Like it can't be completely left field from what they would actually wear. Like if basically just have to think every time I sketch, like if they were in this universe, what would they wear? Basically. So that is a challenge in of itself, to be quite fair. And y'all are going to see I have some very unorthodox methods for some things. Like you're about to see with these eyebrows, it don't make no damn sense. Like I don't try to do the shape outright. I'm definitely work smarter, not harder kind of person. Sometimes Clip Studio Paint does this where it just saves my settings in the middle. I'm pretty sure there's a way you can change that, but I don't know right now. Definitely work smarter, not harder type person. And so I will do the most unorthodox methods if it means not having to do a lot of hard work. Like I don't know. I'm very like, I wouldn't say low energy as a person because I can get kind of crazy, but in terms of some of the things I do, sometimes I can be a perfectionist and sometimes I'm just like, I really could just do something easier for this. No, I do not want that tool. I want this tool. So like, I like this eyebrow, but it's too big. So I'm gonna just minimize it a little bit. Change the angle. All that good stuff. That's the one thing that I like about digital art. Like, my only drawback is that I like to feel what I'm making. But at the other hand, like if you mess up, you are one control Z away from just redoing everything. So it's like digital art is definitely superior when it comes to redoing mistakes. But I still do love traditional art more so sometimes because I feel like I'm more seasoned in that than anything else, because I used to do art in like high school and stuff, and I did more like I did college level art classes, and so I did more portfolios and stuff. Never really, I started to get more into digital as I got well, I was into digital like from a young age, but it was just like I wasn't good at it at all. Like I used to I am not proud of this. I used to like retrace over other people's artwork, and I thought that was like 100% fine. I didn't know about the whole like stealing people's art and stuff like that. I didn't know anything about that. I was just a kid trying to have fun. And the funniest part was I was posting on DeviantArt all the time. See, I don't like that. I was posting like the retrace stolen art on DeviantArt, which, by the way, is kind of like a hellhole a little bit. Like, it's giving very Tumblr 2013, 12 vibes. So not a great place. But I was on there, young as hell, had no business being on there, and I used to be posting stuff on there, and oh my god, like the amount of hate that I would get for the stuff that I would post, and I never understood it because it was like, I'm just trying to live my life and post my art just like everybody else, but for some reason everyone's hating on it, and eventually I realized it was because I was basically stealing. And so then I started to learn. But you know what the funny part is? I wasn't stealing like, like amazing art and stuff. Not to say that this art wasn't amazing, but it wasn't anything like profound. It was like Sonic the Hedgehog fan art. So I just was not, no. I wasn't a very smart kid about that. But I still had fun. I still enjoyed art. It didn't like make me shy away from it. Oh, this is the wrong way. It didn't make me shy away from it. Luckily, it was just a very embarrassing moment that I think about to this day. So, yeah, definitely. And like nowadays, people do not play around about that, especially crediting the artist. Oh my gosh! But I can understand that argument though. Like, if you don't credit your artists, you know what? That's just all I can really say is just what? Like, I've seen it so much, especially in the music industry. Like, I recently saw, what did I see? I saw a post of I think it was a photographer, and he had like took a picture of Quavo. I think it was around the time of the BET Awards, if I'm not mistaken. It may have been some other time. But damn, her eyes are huge in this picture. I might have to size this down a bit. So yeah, anyway, he took a picture of Quavo, and Quavo had posted on his Instagram, and I can't remember how he gave him credit, but it was just like, this looks so weird. I still have to spread these apart. But it just wasn't right. Like, it was an amazing photo, and that guy could have had so many. I mean, I'm pretty sure even Quavo's record label like commented on just how nice the picture was, and that could have gotten that guy a lot of exposure if he had just been properly credited for it. But and what was really upsetting was there was so many people, and I could tell that they weren't people that were in the creative field at all, because that creators may argue about a lot of shit, but that is like the one thing that we can agree on, is that like, always credit your artists, always. So there was a lot of people in the comments talking about like, we'll just be glad he posted your picture and stuff like that, and I was like, no, it's just not right. I mean, exposure is exposure, yes, but he still needs to get his credit where credit is due. It was a very nice photo, and he should have gotten the credit he deserved. That would have been a great start for him, which I'm pretty sure he's already doing pretty well, but that would have been even better. But yeah, credit your artists is the end of that topic, but apparently that's something for people to argue about. So yeah, this is basically me doing there is a lot of digital artists that do this kind of like method where it's just like not worrying about what's the name or what's the word? I'm like blinking right now. I just woke up from a nap, so if I'm like not the most eloquent right now, please. Yeah, so basically just copying, pasting. It's like it's my own artwork, so it's not like it's a big crime to just say I'm not going to stress myself out on trying to make this look even when I can literally just copy and paste and make it even. One thing you'll also notice is that like with line art, if you're not familiar with how these digital programs work, is that just like as if you were drawing on a real piece of paper with a pen, there's going to be weight to what you're drawing. So like as you can see, this line is a lot more heavy here and lighter here. Instead of me focusing too much on how I'm distributing my weight in my tablet, simply because I just have a very older tablet and I definitely need to upgrade sometime soon to one that has a screen on it. But there's nothing wrong with the tablet I have now. It's just I could probably do a lot more with... What the hell are these fingers doing? I could probably do a lot more with a more updated tablet. But anyway, I'm just not gonna focus too much on how I'm distributing my weight all the time through my pen. And then instead of worrying about that, I just go back and I erase just to make it look more dynamic. And its weight just makes it easier for me. Once again, I am not the most, what's the word? I'm not the most dedicated artist, I'm gonna be honest. I used to be a art major in college, but gave that up pretty fast. I don't think I made it through the first day of classes before I decided to to just say, you know, screw it. I don't even know why I didn't add cleavage here in the original drawing. Like, did I just forget how a chest worked? Yeah, so I knew I liked film more. Still an artist in that aspect, but just not the way most people think when they think artist. So I quit that fairly soon into college, so I'm not the most like I started out self-taught, still self-taught in a lot of the things that I do in terms of my technique. But I mean, like I said earlier, I did do a lot of high school, college level classes, submitted a lot of portfolios during my time. I just kind of fell out of love with it, but I think what I was trying to do, and I feel like a lot of creatives kind of get, especially nowadays, is we kind of get into a moment where we focus, well, not focus, but where we try to monotonize our craft, like start trying to make a profit off of it. Well, more so creatives that do creative stuff for fun rather than for profit. Like, if you're doing creative stuff for your job, yeah, you want to make money off of it. But if you're doing it solely for leisure, then a lot of the times you fall out of love with stuff like that when you start trying to profit off of it. And I had to learn that the hard way. I was trying so hard to start selling my art and stuff, and you know, some people requested or asked about commission rates, and I definitely still would like to do it, but just not put so much of an emphasis on it, because it's not something I need to do to make ends meet like most artists do when they do commissions. It was just something more for fun. But now that I'm really getting into this whole film gig since I graduated and teaching, yes, I am teaching now, which is kind of insane. I never thought I'd be doing this because I used to be number one can't stand kids kind of person. Like, anybody that was close to me could probably tell you that. I could not stand kids. But I grew to realize that kids are kids. What are you mad about? You were a fully grown adult. But anyway, completely off track. Yeah, once I realized that for me, art wasn't something I had to use to live, I stopped stressing about whether or not people wanted to buy my art, and that made it a lot more fun for me again. And I stopped worrying about whether or not people liked my art. I had the hardest time trying to figure out what I wanted my art to look like, and I so badly wanted to emulate styles that I really liked from other artists that I didn't realize that I was basically not allowing myself to be artistically more vocal, I guess. I don't know. I'm not the most eloquent speaker sometimes. But yeah, I definitely was trying to, I would always save like thousands. I mean, if y'all looked at my phone, my photo gallery, I have like maybe 10,000 of those. Like, I have 15K photos. And like 10,000 of those are probably like art references that I have saved. And I always wanted to emulate styles, and it just wasn't, authentic. It never felt right when I was trying to basically copy someone else's style. Like, once a copier, always a copier, I guess. But it just never worked out for me. And once I realized that, I have a good base level of skill. I mean, I may not have the best technique in terms of anatomy. As y'all can see, I am missing one arm because I literally could not be bothered to make the other arm. I'm not the best with some things, but I can still appreciate that is way too round. I can still appreciate my style because I've had, people close to me compliment it, and I just was taking that for granted for so long, and just didn't realize the kind of potential that I had as an artist because I was trying so hard to have my art look like other people's art. And that just isn't the way to go. Like, be happy with your art, is what I had to come to the conclusion of. Took me a while, not even gonna lie on that one. But eventually, I got the hang of just saying, fuck it. Nowadays, when I download or save pictures in my phone, it's actually for reference. Like, it's not to emulate style. It's literally because I'm like, I don't know how to draw that. How does this person draw it? How am I supposed to draw it? Like, I'm definitely trying to challenge myself more as an artist. I used to be so stuck in my ways and like what I would draw. Like, I would always draw like the side profile and arms behind the back, just would not really challenge myself. And nowadays, especially with this huge thing, like, I'm challenging myself more and more every time I pick up my sketchbook. And now with this little workspace that I got going on, I find myself at this desk, like, I'll wake up, if I have nothing else to do, like, normally I'll have Oh, that's right. I wanted to make this side bigger. I'll probably just move it. Normally, I have like summer school. We have this special ed summer school that's going on in my school district, and I'll be there from Jesus Christ, pin. I'll be there from 8 in the morning to 12 p.m. and then I'll have tutoring from 1 to 3. I tutor 2 kids. And okay, I guess. So sometimes I don't have the opportunity to really sit down and do work or be creative, but lately, since it's been 4th of July and the district's out for a week, I've had a lot of time to just sit here for hours. Like, if I don't have anything to do, I will sit here for hours just doing so much stuff. Like, if it isn't film stuff, it's art stuff. And if it isn't art stuff, it's tutoring stuff. Like, I am just always working. Like, I will get up first thing in the morning and start working. And sometimes it leaves me with the most twitchiest eye. Like, I swear to God, my eye's been twitching for the past couple days now, and I don't know what to do. I'm just like, child, the best of luck to me. Oh my gosh, I'm having the hardest time with this line. Okay. No, that's still not it, because I still need that to be thicker. There we go. And I've started playing around with shapes more and bodies. I think I was always just trying to make it look as realistic as possible, but then I had to start realizing that's the whole point of having an art style, is sometimes things aren't going to look realistic. It's going to look a bit kooky or weird, and that's just how people want to draw. And it's how I want to draw, so I just started saying, you know, fuck it. I like that I am not always my anatomy is not always correct, which it almost never is. Like, literally, if I had an actual, like, art professor, and you know those ones that are like, don't draw anime in my class type art professors, they would probably look at my stuff and be like, Jesus fucking Christ. Which, on that note, I literally do not like when professors would be like, don't draw anime. If it isn't like Disney House Down, do not draw that shit in my class. And I'm like, it's still a form of like art. It may not be the most, like, I guess you wouldn't see that shit in a museum, but at least not a art museum. You'd probably see one in like Japan or something, like an exhibit. But it's still art. At the end of the day, like, some people can be so pretentious about what is art, and I'm like, it's whatever you make it. I sound like such a hippie when I say that, but it's true. Art is literally whatever you make it, and people can be so weird about that. I swear this pen hates me sometimes because it really does like to act like I'm not currently making a selection. Like, sometimes it's only been doing this on this computer, like with my Mac. I used to do all my stuff on my Mac before I got a PC. It literally not even trying to make this selection for like a minute. Now I'd be like, what do you think you were doing? And I'm just like, dude, I'm just trying to make a selection. Please stop deselecting as if I'm not gonna do this right now. So yeah. I just think right now I'm not too fond of the line art simply because I haven't adjusted the thickness of it yet. It just looks very thick. And I'm not a big fan of thick line art. I'm not gonna lie. I like my line art with varying weights. I used to be okay with thick line art because, you know, like I keep saying, I was not a dedicated artist like that. But now I'm like, bitch, if you don't start erasing them damn lines, I'm doing something about it. Let me get rid of this on the side. That is like bothering me now. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and start working on the body line art that I just did. I'm actually a lot more tired than I thought I was gonna be for this. Like, my eyes feel so heavy, and I'm wondering if it's because of that nap I took, which, by the way, felt like 2 minutes. I took a 30-minute nap, and it felt like 2 minutes, and I hate that. So, I might just get off once I finish, just might, because I'm just like, I'm so much tired. I'm so much more tired than I thought I was gonna be, which is a bummer because I really wanted to get through all 4 of these today. I'll probably get on later. I'll probably take yet another nap and then see how I'm feeling and hop on later. I'm more of a night owl anyway, but I probably shouldn't be doing that today because I have tutoring in the morning at 10. The family just got back from vacation, and so hopefully the kids read the book that I gave them. I really hope they did, because I'm like, I can't. But luckily we don't do our English lesson until next week, because we do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday of the week, and then on Mondays we do English, Wednesday is math, and Friday is science. And they need more work on their English than any other subject that we're going over this summer. So that's why I'm like, we need to be super hyper focused on anything English related. So those books hopefully have been read, but I don't know. If they're not, it's not the end of the world. I mean, we only have so much time that I'm going to be tutoring them anyway. The family wants me to do long term, but since I'm trying to get into this teacher gig, I don't know if I can do long term, and I've already discussed this with them, so it's not like some kind of woo-ha surprise. But I don't know, I might. I like the kids enough, and the family's good to me, so I don't mind it. I don't mind if they want to keep me around. It's a secure job. And it's not a lot of effort in terms of actually teaching them. I have fun teaching. I enjoy it. It's just where the effort really does come in is the lesson planning. Oh my gosh. That's how I end up spending hours at this computer, because I will be sitting here going over these lesson plans for hours. I mean, like, one time I came back from their tutoring session, and I get there at 10 and I get off at 12. and it's about a 20-minute drive from my house. I got back and immediately got on my computer and started doing the lesson plan for the next day. Because I kind of go day by day based on how the day went, especially this last week. We had to do double the amount of lessons because they were going to be on vacation, and that's what the parents wanted, was double. So instead of doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we did Monday through Saturday. So I just remember I got off one time at 12, came home, it was about like 12:30 or something, and I was at the computer till, what was it, 6 o'clock. I literally was just doing lesson plans the entire time. Like, I did not take a break. I did not get up and go eat. I think I may have used the bathroom a couple times, but that was about it. Like, I just was sitting there working, like, head down, in my gut. I was about to say in my guts. Oh my god. In my zone. I don't even know why I said guts. Like, what the fuck? Okay. Yeah. I was really into it. And what was the worst part about it is I spent all that time on it and literally did not get done. I still haven't finished all the lesson plans, like, even to this day, because as we started getting further into the tutoring lessons, I realized that I realized it was best to do the lesson plans day by day rather than plan them out already, because I only have them for an hour, and an hour, especially for their grade levels, and because they had virtual learning because of COVID recently, and so they have a lot that we need to, like, rehash on for some of these subjects, and so they only have an hour, like I said, and that is not a lot of time when you really start getting into the lesson. Like, it seems like a lot because I'm there for 2 hours total, but y'all, when I say that time goes by so fast, especially since, like, for English, we spend the first 20 minutes. We spend the first 20 minutes doing the oldest one, because I teach two, and one is in a higher grade than his sibling. The oldest one does like a independent read for 20 minutes, and then me and the youngest one do a read along for 20 minutes. So that's already like not me trying to figure out the time. That's a third of our time, and we haven't even like learned anything. Well, with her, we're learning like reading comprehension and loving to read, because that's just her biggest thing, is that she does not like to read. And at her age, that's kind of concerning because she's so young, and I'm like, at this age, kids love to read, so her not liking to read is going to hurt her in the long run, especially because that's all they're gonna make her do when she gets to these higher grades. So yeah, I mean, we're technically learning something in that first 20 minutes, but it's not like an actual lesson, so it's like, yeah, a third of that time is already gone, but it's still like a thing that needs to happen in our lessons. So it's just a lot to get through in 1 hour, and the part that makes me nervous for them is their retention ability. They've been doing pretty well so far in retaining information, but it's still just like, sometimes, especially with the younger one, she's just so young that it's like we have little blips where she forgets what we talked about sometimes the day before. And so even if we're on a different subject, I'll just typically ask her if she remembers what we talked about yesterday, just to see if she's actually retaining, because that's the biggest thing for her. The oldest one, I'm not too worried about him retaining, but because with the youngest one, because the oldest one, he's not really needing a lot of review with his previous grade. He did pretty all right in his little assessment test that I had them take before we started tutoring. But the youngest one definitely needed a review. She's smart, but she just wasn't retaining a lot of the information. I think that had a lot to do with what was it called? The online learning, the virtual learning that they were having to go through last year, because it's just hard for kids to learn. I've seen it firsthand just from subbing this past year, how hard it is for them to keep up when they're separated from their education provider by a screen. And they're not able, especially for kids who are like physical, tactile learners, or aren't very great at retaining information that's said to them and need to see it, or have demonstrations or diagrams and stuff like that. So it's definitely been tough on these kids. So I definitely salute any child going through education right now, because I know if I was going through the education system at this moment, I probably would have begged my parents to drop out, especially if I was in high school. I already didn't like high school in terms of education as is. I don't know. I just was a very big procrastinator, so I didn't enjoy it very much. It's not like I wasn't smart, I just didn't like schoolwork, because it just felt like I wasn't the best, and I'm still not the best. I've got the worst memory, and so and the worst attention span, as you can see. I had the worst memory, and I still do. And so, public school is all about testing your memory, and that just was never a good thing to me. And once I realized that that's really all school was, it made it harder for me to want to get up and go every day, because I just was like, I'm not applying any of this to real life. What the hell am I learning algebra for if in real life, like, if I'm not doing anything math related with my career? Like, I'm going into film, or at the time I thought I was going into art. I'm going into art. Kind of like Kanye's quote with "What the fuck does she know about cameras?" What the fuck do I need to know about trigonometry and statistics? Like, all I need to know is camera light go red when record button hit. Like, that's really all I needed to know, which is why I took a film class in my senior year of high school. But it was just like, man, they really need to reform education and what kids are taught in these schools, especially public schools. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure the education, like, what the course material, some of it can be pretty outdated. And I'm just like, that is not setting these kids up for success at all. Like, man, I kind of wish I was getting education in the days where home ed and sex ed was a requirement, and like money matters was a requirement. Like, now you can choose whatever elective you want. And I think in our district, you actually get put on like a plan. Like, you decide what career you want to go into, and they then choose. They basically set out what classes you want to take from high school on. I don't know if that starts in middle school or what, because that thing all started like literally the class after my graduating class in high school, so I don't know. I'll have to ask my sister more about how that went. But yeah, no, it was definitely a free-for-all, like, in terms of everything. And I wish that they made stuff like that a requirement, because I'm pretty sure we did have home ed classes at our school. I think we did, but they just weren't a requirement. So it was like, you know, at the time I didn't appreciate stuff like that, so I never bothered to take it, but I wish I did, just because it's useful information to know. I've just been jumping from topic to topic. I was talking about these kids that I'm tutoring, and I completely forgot about that, like 100%. I think I was mentioning how the youngest one needs the most work, but yeah, like I said, she's very smart, and she's a little shy at first, like in terms of her personality. When we first met, she was very, very shy, like would not even really make eye contact with me, which, you know, is fine. I don't mind it. It's more endearing than frustrating. I don't understand why people get frustrated with shy kids, especially, oh my gosh, let's get into the black community a little bit. Black families swear they don't know what a shy kid is, because the way they absolutely just like deny that a kid can be shy sometimes. But anyway, that's beyond the point. Well, it is the point, but going back to what I was originally talking about, she was very shy, but then now it's hard to get her to stop talking. Like, we could be on a completely different subject and she'll somehow find a way to relate it back to something that happened to her either in her life before or recently, which I don't mind her making conversation with me. It's just, like I said, we have such a limited amount of time with that 1 hour, because I get 1 hour per kid, that when she starts talking, and sometimes she'll go on for minutes and minutes, and I have to redirect her sometimes. Not a lot, but sometimes. Yeah, it's funny though. I just laugh sometimes when she starts doing it, because I'm just like, I don't know how you were able to relate these two together, but I'm finding it very amusing right now. I honestly am not even like sure how streamers do it, because I mean, this is almost kind of like therapeutic a little bit, just talking and not having to hear anybody else make any inputs or comments. Like, it's not that I'm like, I don't like to hear what people have to say. I love listening to people, but it's also kind of nice to just speak your mind and know that some people are listening and not have to worry about anybody's input for once. Like I said, I don't mind it in regular conversation. If anything, I appreciate it when people make their inputs, but it's also just nice to just talk. But yeah, normally I probably would have, this is like my first solo stream. I probably would have had like a little face cam on, but I just decided not to today, since I have these very huge rollers in my head and I'm trying to do something with my hair, since it was straightened for like 2 weeks, and then I finally just washed it and it went back to its like naturally curly texture pattern. My hair is very thick. I've got 4C hair and it definitely shows. And I love it. It's just, it's not hard to work with, it's just tiring. Like, if you don't have the patience that day, then I'm sorry. It's just not gonna work out apparently. Because some days, it's always the days where I'm like, I need to do something with my hair, but I just don't have the energy for it. But yeah, I mustered up the energy today because I knew yesterday I was gonna do it today. And so I got up this morning. I didn't even eat anything. I just, brushed my teeth and immediately went into doing my hair. It's like, that's the thing with black hair, especially black women, is that you basically have to plan either a day or like days in advance on when you're gonna do your hair, because it literally takes that much work and effort to look this good. So it is definitely a process, but I still like the process. Sometimes it can be therapeutic and sometimes it can be stressful. Like, I've gotten better at doing my hair now, so like it's like not as stressful as it used to be, because when I've only been natural for 4 years, so when I first started doing my hair, it was like, what the hell am I doing? This is taking so long, it's taking hours, and it still hasn't shown any type of difference or change. And I used to ask my younger sister, because she had been natural way longer than I had. I used to ask her for so much advice. And I used to feel kind of shameful about that, because it was like, dude, she is younger than you. If anything, she should be the one asking you for advice. But, sometimes you just kind of have to step outside of yourself and be like, it's not about age, it's about experience. So she knew more than me. And now I don't have to ask her as much about stuff, because I started doing my own research about my hair, and I started going to hairstylists for my hair too, because I started running into the problem where my hair didn't grow despite taking vitamins and, using the right products, always having it in protective styles. I mean, this year, I've rarely had my natural hair out. I think I've had it out for at least more than 2 days, maybe. Since 2021 started, I've maybe had it out for more than 2 days for like 3 separate times. Like, I don't bother my hair anymore, because I really just wanted it to grow. And then I don't remember if my most recent hairstylist told me this, but I think she said you actually need to play with it more for it to grow. And I was like, okay, great. So I was doing the literal exact opposite of what needed to be done. So that's good to know. Yeah, I'm super duper tired. I don't know. I've just been really tired these days. This whole weekend was so busy for me and my family, because we just had relatives over this weekend. My grandma came and stayed with us. We haven't seen her in like 2 years. And normally, well, not y'all do not know. Normally we go see her at least like 2 or 3 times in the year, especially around Christmas. But with COVID going on, and she's my grandma, so she's older, it just wasn't in good conscience and good faith to put her life in jeopardy just to visit her when we've done it so many times before. It was like, what's just 1 or 2 years of just sitting visits out for a little bit? And, you know, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big change in our lives because we had actually started to visit her less and less because she lives in another state from us. But, yeah, so when she came over, I completely forgot we had changed our house so much since COVID originally hit. Like, we had gotten our floors done. I had moved back in from my apartment in college. So I had taken, my older sister had moved out, and I had taken her room, and I completely like redid it. So, you know, last time she came over here, it was like my sister was living here, I was at college. So when she came, I forgot that it had been 2 years since she came to our house. And so when she was looking at my room and she was like, oh my God, I was like, why are you so surprised? I thought you'd seen this already, but no, she had not. And I was just like, oh wow. I mean, we got a garden in the back now, a patio. It is just, because our house is not huge, not in the slightest. It's just like a 1-story, very small, in the neighborhood. But we had definitely made it more homey. Like, the living room looks so good. I love being in the living room now. I used to not really be out in the house other than my room, but now that we've done all the renovations and stuff like that, if I'm not at this computer desk, I'm somewhere else in the house, just chilling. And if it wasn't for my big fear and hatred for insects, I would be on the patio like all day. And I also just don't like the heat, so there's that as well. Cannot stand summer heat, especially now that this is like, isn't this supposed to be like one of the hottest summers of all time? And I'm just like, motherfucker, I wanted to sit on the patio today. And I can't because climate change is real. Obviously, the issue here of climate change is not that whether I can sit on my patio or not, but that was just me being an obvious, like, first world country kind of person for a second. Like, I'm inconvenienced by climate change because I can't sit on my patio. Like, oh my gosh, get over yourself. There's literally a fire in the middle of the ocean. Which, by the way, that's insane. Like, how does that even... I didn't really look at the article or the video, the article attached to the video, but all I know is I saw that and I was like, that's just not natural. A fire being in the middle of the goddamn ocean. And I immediately knew, oh, the world is for sure ending. But like, it's crazy because what with COVID going on, that whole like argument with climate change literally got put on hold for a lot of people, for a majority of the population, because COVID was really just like, I mean, I remember how I was in the beginning of COVID. Like, I literally did not go anywhere that wasn't the store. And even then, going to the store gave me like anxiety. So that whole conversation of climate change, which was one of the biggest things about, I guess you could say, the category of science that got put on hold for such a long time. Like, to think where we are now compared to previously with COVID is crazy. I remember the first couple, like the first lockdown. Oh my gosh, the traffic was literally non-existent. It was crazy, and I loved it. Oh my god, I loved it. It was literally the best thing ever to not have to, because I live in Texas, and Texas arguably has some of the worst drivers. Some of the worst drivers. Now, the roads not being congested or there being no traffic, nobody parked anywhere, was literally the best time of my life on the road. I'm not the type of person that hates driving. I know people always like, when you get older, you're gonna hate driving. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm already 22, so already 22. I say that as if that's old. It is not old. But then again, I'm the same person who's excited to be 30, so I don't know if I've got my priorities right or wrong, to be honest. But you know what? I'm living life, so I really don't care. But yeah, that was the only good thing about COVID, was the lack of traffic in Texas, because like I said, Texas is arguably the state with some of the worst drivers. I'm talking about, like, I remember this one time in college, this girl had hit me. She was backing out and I was on the road just driving ahead, and you know, I have the right of way because I'm on the road. Like, she's backing out onto this road, so she backed out, and I noticed she wasn't stopping, so I stopped. And I was just kind of sitting there waiting to see if she was going to keep going, and she kept going. So I honked my horn, and she kept going, and then she hit me. She didn't, like, completely obliterate my car, but she still, you know, had some paint transfer, a little dentage, my license, my driving. Wait, what? Why can I not remember what the thing is called on the front of a car? Is it... Hold on. Is it a license plate? Okay, yeah. I hate that I have to look that up. Look, anyway. So, she just dented my license plate a little bit, too. Like, I arguably had more damage than she did. But I wasn't mad about it. I wasn't too, like... I really wasn't going to make a claim on her because my car was already old and beat up. I have a 2003 Mitsubishi Lancer, so it literally did not mean nothing to me that she bumped into my car. I was just like, girl, it's already beat up. We are fine. Please do not worry. But the only thing was she got out of the car and started just like yelling at me and running off at the mouth. And I was like, girl, you were in the wrong. Who are you yelling at? And so then she wanted to act all fake and be like, well, I'm not going to make a claim if you don't make a claim. And I was like, I was going to do that anyway because that's just how I am. And she was like, all right then. She went on her way. I didn't even ask that girl for no type of information because I was just like, that's literally how much I did not care. I had no intentions of making any kind of claim on that girl. Now, I knew she was going to make a claim on me. I just knew it. So after the whole incident had happened, I called my dad and I told him about it. And so he was like, okay, well, let me call the insurance company. I told him then, and then I think a day later he had called my insurance company, my car insurance company, and, you know, asked them about the claim, if there was a claim on me. And lo and behold, she did make a claim on me. And so his idea was to do like a counterclaim because I didn't have her information, but in order to make a claim, she had to submit her information. So that's kind of how we were able to do that. And then what she didn't expect me to do was be smart. And what I did is I went to the campus police, and this is probably the most helpful the campus police have ever been, ever. And so I had asked them for, because this happened on a street that I knew had cameras on it. And so I had asked them, I was like, can you guys pull up footage of the incident? I told them what time it had happened, because I called my dad right after, so I had basically like a good estimate of when it had happened. I remembered the day, all that good stuff. And they pulled it up. They let me wait in the lobby. They were watching in the back room. They didn't bring me back there. I guess it's some sort of practice or whatever. And they come back and they were like, yeah, she was in the wrong. And so you can make a claim with this and blah, blah, blah. And so we ended up using that as our key evidence for the counterclaim. And the girl ended up losing. But like I said, I was not worried about getting any type of like payment or anything out of her or nothing like that, because like I said, it was not even considered a fender bender. Like, it just was not that serious. And she I just never saw her on campus again. And that same week, someone almost got into a borderline fatal accident with me. And once again, it was not my fault. She just did not see me, and she was like full speed ahead turning into my lane. It was about to like ram into my car, my side of the car. And she was really apologetic, but I was just like, damn, I already got into one accident this week. I'm not trying to get into another one, especially if it was almost fatal. So yeah, that was the first and the last time I ever got into an accident. And hopefully, knocking on wood, it never happens again, because that whole process was unnecessary as hell. Like, literally all could have been avoided if she had just been, cordial. And I think she was trying to be this like big, like woof 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 woof. I think she was just trying to be like this big and bad person and try to scare me, basically like gaslight me into thinking that I was the one at fault when I wasn't. But what she didn't expect was for me to be a stubborn asshole. Well, I wasn't an asshole. For me to be just a stubborn person, especially when it came to, because when it comes to like arguments, when I know I'm right, I am not backing down. But when I know I'm wrong, I'm just like, you got that. I'm not even gonna hold you. But when I'm right, you best believe I'm not shutting up until you understand that I'm right. Like, So I let her go on her way, but I knew what she was going to do. And I knew what I was going to do, because I know the type of team I have on my side. And my team consists of my family, especially my dad, who is arguably the most petty person in this house. So I knew that once I had called him, it was basically a wrap for her. And I'm not a very vindictive, petty person. Not anymore. I used to be. But I'm kind of on my kumbaya shit right now. Not gonna lie. I done went through so much drama at these jobs I done been at. And it wasn't anything that I was doing. It was what other people were doing, and I just somehow got in the middle of it because I just happened. I was an innocent bystander. But, just to kind of wrap up an off-topic, sort of topic, subject. Ever since all that happened, and that was last year, like at the end of the year. Ever since all that happened, I just said, you know what? I'm gonna mind my business. I'm gonna teach these kids, and I'm gonna let it go. Because if I speak, some of y'all might be going to jail. It wasn't as serious. Well, let me stop. Some of them might have been as serious as jail time. It was definitely giving a Tyler Perry play. Like, it was just that dramatic and just what the flying fuck is going on. And I hate that I got involved because it wasn't anything that I had actively tried to get involved in. It was, I was at a place at the wrong time. And everybody at that job wanted to be some snake motherfuckers. And basically, oof. One day I'm gonna get into this story because I need people to hear it and understand the borderline PTSD this job gave me from how stressful it was every day from the moment I clocked in to the moment I clocked out. But yeah, once I finish this line art, I'ma clock out. Alright, Miss Frizzle, I'm about to head out. I think it's Miss Fritz from Jimmy Neutron. It's like that meme with Carl. He's walking out of the classroom. He's like, alright, Miss Fritz, I'm about to head out. Is that old? Is that a dated meme at this point? Like, I don't know. Sometimes I hold on to things that shouldn't be held on to. But sounds like my sister is home. My younger sister, she works at a gym at a daycare. And it sounds like she's having issues with her employer. People just be doing us women dirty, especially black women. Oh my God, don't get me started with working in the workforce as a black woman. Shit is just traumatic day by day. If I could go over all the traumatic shit I've been through as a black woman because I'm black, the trauma I faced because I was black, I would probably need to be admitted. I'm not gonna cap. Shit is not sweet. It is not sweet at all. And they be wondering why some of these black women don't be saying hi and shit in the mornings. Like, what do you want me to say? You literally called me sassy and ghetto fabulous last week. What do you want me to say to you? Because, baby, if I speak, I'm not gonna have this job no more. Because let me tell you, I done had, the amount of people, the amount of, especially white women, oh my gosh, they love calling me sassy. And I'm like, I'm the least sassiest person I know. You just call me that because I did not like the way you act towards me. And I pointed that shit out. And now all of a sudden I'm sassy. I'm just a sassy little thing. I literally hate the word sassy. I hate the word girlfriend. It is just... that's that PTSD I was telling y'all about. From that job. I'm probably just gonna stop after I do these closed TBH, because I am just, my eyes feel so heavy and I'm so low energy right now. This is normally how I am, like very chill, very much kumbaya, but there's definitely a lot more humor to it. But today I just do not have the time nor the energy, and this is the last minute thing too. I did not plan this out beforehand. I'm gonna have to message you for it and see if he's alright later after the stream ends. Because I really didn't get the chance to. I hope he heard me earlier when I asked him how everything went. responded basically, because I was still really focused on trying to get this stream going and get all my settings in the correct places. So I didn't really get the chance to talk to him as much as I would have liked. But yeah. Oops. Let me turn this. Oop. Yeah, I didn't think I would have to make this longer, but I may just have to make this longer. Like, the whole canvas is gonna have to be longer because just the way that it's already so much. Oh boy. Yeah. And then I always add these little notes after I sketch it, but like with Jess, I still have to add this very cute eye makeup that I had the idea for. I saw like, I have a whole folder just for this where I have the pictures of them and reference photos to little designs and stuff that I like fashion clothes and whatnot. Just a whole folder full of stuff so that I can get this done as efficiently and in a way that I'll be satisfied by. But I don't know. Yeah, so all these notes you see are literally just me. Surprisingly enough, when I did, because I always have like little notes in order to edit when I actually get into the editing software. With Christine, I did not have any edits that I wanted to make. Like, she was literally the easiest one to do in terms of design. I would say it took me like 2 days to get a design that I was satisfied with, because like she was one of the people that didn't respond in terms of when I tweeted out like what curse technique which I'll use in Jujutsu Kaisen, but I still wanted to add her because I do really like Christine. Not to say that the people who are not in this fan art on my list that I'm going to do are not people I dislike. I like a lot of YouTubers. I just cannot get everybody in because that would be too much. I mean, I'm already doing a lot with the people I have right now because I'm almost done with all the women. Like, I've drawn 95% of them. The last person I have not drawn yet is Tasha. No, not Tasha. Who do I have left? No, it's T. T is the only person I have not drawn or sketched out yet. And once I do her, I got all the guys that I want to draw, which is Dante, PG, MG, 3MG Live. Yeah, this is just a whole list of people that I think these are people that were in the same stream at one point. Like, they were all they were all playing Among Us, I think, and because originally how this all got started was I just drew me and Berlizzi, my little Jujutsu Kaisen character that I had made a couple weeks ago before I did this, and then when I saw that stream with all the YouTubers, I was like, let me go ahead and do my faves, because I normally do a lot, not a lot, but I've been doing some fan art for Jazz, and so I was like, why don't I do everybody, because I've been meaning to get the whole crew, I just didn't know what I was going to do, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I've already made this Jujutsu Kaisen fan art with me and Berlizzi, why not do a lot of other YouTubers that I like? So that's basically it. I accidentally hit my mic. Yeah, I'm just just way too tired, and I can't continue because sometimes when you're doing art as a creative, sometimes you just have to say, I'm gonna go ahead and take a step back for now and come back later. Ouch. So I'm gonna log out for now. For those watching, I hope you enjoyed the stream. I'll probably be back either later tonight. Probably not, because I'll probably be asleep. But definitely tomorrow. I'll either be doing this or streaming like Phoenix, right? I think I'll probably do more streaming games because it's just hard to stream artwork and come up with a stream of conscience while doing it. So definitely gonna come back tomorrow with a game. So thank y'all for watching, and I will see y'all tomorrow probably.